Dear friends, dear FISU Student Ambassadors, dear speakers, dear colleagues, it's my pleasure to start the December educational session for the current FISU Student Ambassadors, and I see that all of the participants today are the FISU Student Ambassadors. This is a very special December session, which is always dedicated to the volunteer management topic because of the International Volunteer Day on the 5th of December. But before every session starts, we invite the FISU Executive Committee member to welcome you. And today is Mr. Sami Garabedian, a very good friend of our program and a great supporter. So Sami, thank you for joining us and the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Albina, for inviting me. And, you know, it's always a pleasure to be involved in these sessions. First of all, I want to say greetings to all the student ambassadors from what I see from almost across the world at different time zones. So welcome. It is indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome you all on behalf of the FISU Education Committee to this particular December session, which, as Albina said, will be mainly dedicated to volunteer management, which Ivana will run you through eventually. And obviously, because we are in holiday mood, holiday spirits, to actually share some holiday greetings and celebrations from across the world. Very briefly, as Albina said, my name is Sami Garabedian, and I'm from Lebanon, and I have been involved in university sports for almost 4 decades. Very briefly, I was a senior director of athletics for over 30 years at one of the top universities in Lebanon. And I was I had the privilege to be the president of our NUSF for 2 years, and I served as an advisor for another 2. However, my very first involvement with FISU dates back to 2008 when I actually attended the FISU forum in Krakow. And that's where it started it started getting rolling from there. And it has been an absolute joyride since then. In 2012, I was lucky to be nominated on the FISU Education Committee, which I also served as vice chair. But just so you know how important FISU is, my greatest and proudest achievement in university sport came through in November of 2023, when after trying 2 previous times, I was elected to the EC board member of FISU. I never gave up hope. I persevered. I participated in every single educational event as possible with FISU, and I proudly made it to where I am with FISU today. Very simply, I'm just going to give you this bit of advice from someone who was actually involved in 2015 when the FVLA first started, and then Albina got involved in it at a later stage. And by the way, I'm going to say this in her face. I don't have any problems with it. Albina has done a wonderful, wonderful job with this program. And I think everyone can actually either put the thumbs up or a big hand of applause, because she really deserves it. Being a FISU ambassador is not a simple occurrence or a walk in the park. It is a unique privilege that each one of you needs to embrace and cherish forever. As you know, FISU is a unique global brand that makes each and every one of you shine and be noticed. So my advice to you: seize the moment, make the most of it, try to get involved as much as you possibly can, not only with the ambassadors program, but with all your own NUSFs, because that's where your journey starts. So make the most of it. Again, I would like to thank Albina for inviting me to this session, and would like to seize this opportunity to wish each and every one of you a joyous, prosperous, and happy holiday season. And I hope you will enjoy the next 1 hour and 15 minutes, starting off with Ivana, who will actually going to run us through the volunteer management, which, by the way, is what you guys are doing, which I've been doing for over 14 years, and I'm proud of doing it. And I'm pretty sure each and every one of you is proud being a FISU ambassador. Okay, remember, ambassador has a lot of meanings. and has a lot of responsibilities, as Albina keeps reminding you. So happy holidays. Thank you for having me. And I'm going to stay with you for the next half an hour because I'm really interested to see what Ivana has to offer. And by the way, before I leave, I would like to say hello to one of my student ambassadors who joined in this year, Tiam. Hello, Tiam. I love you, and don't disappoint Albina. I'm pretty sure you'll make the most of it. Thank you, and back to you, Albina.
Thank you so much, dear Sami, for your kind words and for your guidance. And when you mentioned Tia, we should also say about Lara. She was guided and supported by you, and she is now the member of the FISU Student Committee and FISU Education Committee, contributing to so many FISU events. And it's always good to hear your advice. And let me also say, the first time we met offline was in the airport or somewhere, and the transfer is going to Costa Rica. But before that, we were organizing the forum for many months. And it was always the magic of offline meetings, as it usually happens in this program. And to now to go to the keynote speaker today, I would welcome Ivana, and I will share the personal story after your presentation. Of course, Ivana, it is a fantastic volunteer manager, a very, very, very professional one. And she's the alumni of the FISU Student Ambassadors program, the very first edition, which was called the FISU Volunteer Leaders Academy in 2017. And she's so much involved in the work of your National University Sports Federation of Croatia. What started as a job as a volunteer manager now led to the creation of the volunteer center in Croatia that we also saw operating the work of volunteers during the FISU World Forum in Croatia last August. And I give the floor to Ivana because we really chose her as the only speaker today because it's a very practical presentation. And for those of you watching this as a recording, I think even like half of the people are watching the recording now. Please listen to Ivana carefully, and we will share all the presentations afterwards. Thank you.
Thank you so much for these wonderful thoughts. First of all, I would like to thank Sami because he already mentioned that you need to say yes to all the opportunities that will actually come to you, and that is definitely the thing that I want to keep in bold, because every yes which I said to some new thing just led me here where I am now. Also, I would like to give a big round of applause for Albina, because yes, this program maybe started with something offline, but now in online version, I think it really is so high and it is so perfect, because we can all just like now talk around the globe with each other on this, for me, perfect subject. So yes, my topic is volunteering management. I will share my presentation, and I will start with all the slides which I prepared. Please be free to ask some questions, but after the presentation, maybe I will also tackle them during the presentation, so feel free to ask them after the presentation, or you can write in chat, and I hope that I will be able to see it. Also, I would like to use this opportunity to say hi to Francisca Choco. I think she's here. She is one of our representatives, but also a member of EUSA Student Commission. So it's very, very nice to see all like very familiar faces to join this subject, and I hope that this will be useful for you all. So I will try to share my presentation, and I hope that I will manage it to do it. Just a moment. That's it. Okay. So do we all see the presentation? Albina, can you confirm? Albina, can you see the presentation?
Yes, it looks fun.
Yes. Okay, great. So my subject is volunteer management. As Albina said, I have been working in this period for the past, I don't know, like 15 years. She asked me to mention you briefly how I got here. So how it all actually started. I was a student at University of Rijeka at Faculty of Law, and in 2007, which is now ancient history, I started volunteering in volleyball championship. So it is European University Volleyball Championship. After that, we had few other championships, European and FISU championships also. I was working in all of that, usually as a volunteer coordinator. So firstly, I was volunteering, and after that, I realized that we don't have a person who is in charge for the volunteers. And I decided that it will be great to have someone who will be the one just thinking about all the things that volunteers actually need. So I hope that through this presentation, you will be able to see what are those needs that we need to think about when we think about volunteering program. So after all of these championships, I actually started working in our academic sports federation, and actually, at the last year of my faculty, I started writing a bidding book with my friends for the European University Games, Zagreb Rijeka 2016. We actually wrote a bidding book. We submitted the bid, and somehow I believe that no one believed that we will actually get it, but we did. So we ended up in organizing European University Games Zagreb Rijeka 2016. And based by the numbers, it is actually the biggest European university games that were already held and that are planning to be held in Europe. For those who are not from Europe, this is something similar to Universiade, but a pretty smaller one. So it's like a European Championship of all different sports and for all the representatives from different European countries. After that, I was a member, as Albina already mentioned, I was a member at FISU in 2017, so I was a participant in offline session. And after that, I started working even more, because I realized that there are so many opportunities in student sport. I actually met so many different people from different university association, and we started to thinking about what we can do. So after that, 2017, I have started working in several different projects. Most of them were connected with university sport, but some of them were also connected with like different area, different sports. So from tennis, basketball to ultra trail running to handball, we had practically every big championship that was organized in our country, in my country. I was actually a part of it, usually in volunteering management. So this year we started thinking about it, but this year we founded the National Volunteering Center in Sport. And what does it mean? So it is actually a center which combines volunteers and the sport organizations. So for the volunteers, we are offering various educational programs. Just our aim is to help our volunteers either in leadership skills or in communicational skills. This is something which is designed for the volunteers. It is not necessary only in sport, but we have already held 3 different educational like Unisport Villa Academy, and for all 3 of them, we usually had volunteers who were afterwards more eager to participate in sports championships. After that, last year, we founded Unisport Villa 2.0. So it is Volunteers Academy, but for the volunteer coordinator. And last week, we had the first edition for the volunteer coordinators, and we had a 3-day officially program, educational program for the coordinators, where we explained them how to form the volunteer program, how to deal with volunteers, how to deal with some unexceptional situations, how to talk to the organizers, because I'm not sure how it is in your countries, but in our country back in 2015 and 2007 even, we didn't had so many people who are volunteering in sport. So actually we needed to like change the whole culture to make it even more eager to include volunteers in their own programs. So let's go back to the Unisport Villa and Unisport Villa 2.0. These two programs are shaped for the volunteers and for those who want to become the volunteer coordinator. But also here in National Volunteering Center in sport, we want to support other sports organizations. So we actually help them to organize volunteering program. We help them in coordinating the volunteers. So we have that coordinators who finished the Unisport Villa 2.0, and they can help them in different sports projects. And also we have a huge database from more than 3,000 volunteers are now in this database. Just to put those numbers, our country has around 4 million people, and our database consists only of people who want to join different sports events, and it's around 3,000 people who want to join in any part of our country. So now let's go to the subject, how to start a volunteer program. So basically, when I was trying to find some notes on how to organize it, people are always saying about this maybe 5 different stages of volunteering program, and this is actually what we have done and what we have started doing in 2011, and we are doing it since then, but maybe with some slightly changes. Just to maybe put the flashback to 2007, we didn't have WhatsApp, we didn't have Viber, we had Facebook groups, but we had limited access to internet, so it was very hard to communicate in that period because we didn't had everything in our mobile phone everywhere. So when we talk for that ancient history, as I already said, in 2007, something changed, but not a lot of it. One thing is definitely stayed the same for all the years, and that is that in volunteer program, which I usually do, always the volunteer is in the center of everything, because from my point of view, if the volunteer is not satisfied, you will not have a great volunteering program, and that is what you need to have in your mind when you think about planning and everything else. So here are the 5 phases, but we are going to go through each and every one. As you can see, we have 004, but it's not. It's actually the 5th phase, which is the last one. So first, we would definitely start with the planning of our volunteering program. So we need to set our own goals. We need to think about, do we need to just organize a small event, or maybe we need to change, if you remember, to change the whole culture to make it even more affordable for everyone to volunteer. When you set your goals, you need to plan how to make them. So you need to think, who are your targets to make this actually plan. Are you going to talk only with the organizers, like with the sport sports association, or you're also going to talk with maybe high school, maybe university, and so on. After that, you need to make your need assessment. So you need to think about how many volunteers do you actually need. You need to think about, do you have some kind of shifts? Are you going to have people who will be working for 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours? We usually don't make shifts which are 6 hours longer because people really need to have their own free time. Maybe they have some other obligations. Also, you need to think what kind of special skills do you actually need? Do you need people who know that sport? I remember we have been organizing European University Championship in Taekwondo, and for me, I didn't know anything about Taekwondo, so I needed to find people who actually, and persons who know how to deal with a sports part of Taekwondo, so that I can ask them if I need any kind of help. After that, so after you already made the needs assessment, you need to define position the description. This is very important because when you actually write down what the person at info point needs to know, or what kind of skills that she needs to have, then you can think about, okay, where I'm going to find that actually person. So I remember we had European University Games 2016. We were thinking about at SHES. So these are the persons who are the first contact with the group when the group is coming here. So they're, I don't know, helping them in managing to the sports hall, managing to the city center, and so on. And we were thinking, okay, those persons needs to know the foreign language. So where are we going to find them? And we started contacting the schools for foreign languages, just to ask them if it is okay for them to have some kind of practical knowledge, practical skills through our European University Games. So those volunteers were actually students in schools for different languages. So maybe when you define what's your position needs, then it will be so much easier for you to find that kind of person. Also, in this planning part, you need to define what kind of training you will offer to the volunteers, what kind of rules you need to tell them. Maybe if you have something in student dormitory, you need to talk with them about social activities that are forbidden or maybe not. Also, in this area, you need to define all the catering needs, all the uniform, all the gifts, all the volunteer center, and accommodation needs. Why? Because this is the part when you will make a budget. Because usually people think, okay, we will have volunteers, that's great, we will not pay them, that's wonderful, but it's not like that. You need to think about, and I always ask myself when I'm making a new program, if the volunteer is giving the one thing which will not be able to give it back, and that is the time which volunteer is giving to the project, then you need to think what you can give to the volunteer that is somehow approved, that he actually give you this time, the effort, the energy. So you need to think about all the things that you need to provide to the volunteers, and you need to think about in planning area so that you can talk with organizing committee and make some kind of budget which will be actually okay for the volunteers to have all the nice different shirts, the same shirts, all the hats, all the, I don't know, all the gifts which you will be giving to them. So for me, planning is the perfect part of every volunteering program, because now you can think about everything, and you can put everything on the paper, and then start with the second phase, and that is recruitment and selection. This phase is how I wanted to say that it's also my favorite, but at the end, we will probably see that all the 5 phases are my favorite phases, but this one is definitely great because now you can see all the people who wants to join the program that you actually think about, but you need to answer on your simple question: how are you going to attract all the volunteers? So you need to think, and please think outside the box. So you need to think how you're going to find all those persons that you have already been writing all the needs and assessments. So I will also give you one example from my history. It's not so ancient in 2007, but in 2016, those European University Games, we needed to find more than, so at the end, we had a group of 1,444 volunteers. We had more than 3,000 applicants. But our condition was that volunteer need to be with us for the whole period, for the whole 15 days. Our condition was that he or she needs to be available for different amounts of the dates. So we couldn't accept everyone because we didn't had possibility to have 3,000 people, and because we didn't have to accommodate, we didn't have enough place to accommodate them, but we need at least 1,200. So we were thinking how to attract them, and we printed out bookmarks, which we put it in public library in the most in the books which are usually like took out from the library, so which are the most borrowed, and we put those bookmarks how to apply for the volunteering program in those books, and we had like a huge amount of applicants. Also, we printed out, I don't know if you eat in a student cafeteria, but in student cafeteria in our towns, we usually have like a small piece of paper which is put it on like which you put under your plate and so on. So actually on these papers we printed out how to become a volunteer. So you need to think outside of the box how to attract people, especially if you don't have money, because we usually don't have money for this part of the recruitment. You need in this phase, you need to define which qualification are you looking for. So this is something that I have already been talking in previous phase. When you think about what kind of people do you need, now you need to think, okay, I need these skills, and I will make my application form look like so that I can from application form maybe see if that person has that kind of skills. Also, you need to define the method of selection. I have just mentioned the application form. This is okay that it can be the only way of selection process, but be aware that most of the thing that you can maybe pull out from the candidate is when you talk with them. So back then in 2016, we made more than 2,000 interviews over Zoom, over phone, in person. So we really wanted to meet everyone before they came to our volunteering program. Of course, if you have a volunteer program for, I don't know, Olympic Games, probably you will not be able to make that kind of online or in-person interviews. But at the end, if you have around 2,000, 3,000 people in your volunteering program, you can definitely make interviews with all of them. Selection criteria, it's very important to have it, because you want to have, you really, from my point of view, I believe that you need to have the same criteria for everyone. You cannot just approve someone because you like them. You need to have those criteria so that you can definitely include them in different volunteering programs or volunteering position. The last thing, don't forget to answer on every application, because if someone has time to make your application and to fulfill everything, then your job is at least to answer them. For the third part, for the training, you need to think about, okay, what do you expect from the volunteers? So how they can meet those organizational standards. You should have a general and specific part. So general is maybe you will be talking about volunteering, about their rights, about their responsibilities. Maybe you will be talking about your sports or association. But on the specific part, you need to talk about what they're going to do. So you need to explain every part of a volunteer position. Ideally, you will be able to talk with them about some kind of situation which you maybe already experienced, and maybe they will have the same one. Usually, when we have the training for the info point, we usually explain to the volunteers, okay, maybe athlete will come and they want to, I don't know, sign for the practice. You need to tell them, okay, they will be able to sign for the practice via online, like some kind of app. They don't need to do it by hand at your desk, but you need to explain all of different even smaller things, because when the championship starts, you will not have time to answer to 200 of them. Maybe for me, it's so much better if you tell them in advance what they will be expecting. Also, you can have online or workshops. That's all by yourself what you want to do. Definitely, you need to talk about safety rules and procedures if something happens, what they should do and what they should avoid. Now we are going to the fourth phase, and that is the coordination during the event. So it's basically, as we call it, the show time, because everything what you have been doing in the previous 3 phases, now you will be able to see. So if you have a volunteer who has a first day and he didn't have any kind of education, my advice would be to pair them with someone who has been to every single educational part, because if you have a person who doesn't know anything, for your job will be so much harder, because you will not be able to rely on that person. So it depends on your job how the volunteers are actually prepared. The communication skills are here, I don't know, very important. I don't know how to stress it enough. It's very important to talk with volunteers if something changes, if you have some kind of unexpected situation. It is very important for them to know everything, because they are your first line to the usually athletes or the members of the sports associations. This functional manager, which is not equal to the volunteer manager, I will explain on the next slide, but I want to tell you that your job is for the volunteers to make a once-in-a-lifetime experience. This is something that we have been doing for the past several years, and we have people who have been returning to different events, no matter in which city we are or in which country. They are coming back and they want to be a part of our different volunteer programs, because they know that, as already mentioned, we usually, for me, I always put volunteer at the first stop, but at the first post. But usually, the volunteer managers who are working with me are also doing the same. Also, don't give too hard tasks. Don't give too easy tasks. I was shocked that my friend, he was a volunteer at some championship in some other country, and they gave him to like stand at the parking lots and just count how many cars are entering to the parking lot. If you have some kind of similar volunteer position, try to maybe rotate people so that you don't have one person counting cars for the 7 hours. Maybe you can rotate, maybe you can combine that with some other thing, but which is possible to maybe work on. For the services for the volunteers, I have already mentioned that. Don't forget to think about meal hours for the volunteers. They can't be, usually they are not the same as for the athletes, because volunteers needs to come before, they need to leave afterwards. So keep in mind that they also need to eat. They need to have their own fresh, clean clothes. They need to have accreditations. So you need to keep in mind of for all the services that you have for the athletes, you also need to give them to the volunteers. So this is the slide where I wanted to give you an example how the functional area and volunteer manager are not the same thing. So this is just one small part. You have organizing committee and all the members of the organizing committee. Usually there are functional areas. So you have, I don't know, responsible person for the transport, responsible person for the sport, responsible person for the media, and so on. You have responsible person for the volunteers. That is a volunteer manager. Under the functional areas, you have team leader for photos, team leader for media, team leader for volunteers. So this team leader for volunteers will come from your pool of associates that you are working with. So you will have your team leaders, which are in part of volunteer support. We usually call them like that. So they are part of volunteering support, but they're all in different functional areas, because the person who is in charge for the media, that person will be talking with team leader of volunteers, and team leader of volunteers will be able to change, I don't know, schedule for the volunteers, or maybe give some other tasks that are not given given prior. So you need to think about that. Of course, this is something if you have like a huge number of volunteers, more than, I don't know, 300-400 volunteers. But if there is a group of 200 volunteers, 2 to 3 persons can deal with that kind of group of volunteers. But please, when you think about having a volunteering program, think about how the information will go to the volunteers. From my experience, it is so much better, and I think it is right to have one person who is in charge for the volunteers, and that person is talking with the volunteers. Usually, if you have different areas, you can put some representative of the volunteers who will be in contact with volunteer manager. So when the information goes from the OC, if you have a smaller event, it will go directly to the volunteer manager, and he or she will pass it through her assistants, and they will pass it to the volunteers. If you have a bigger event, then you will have from OC to volunteer manager, and volunteer manager will talk with each and every team leader for volunteers in every functional area. So it just depends on how many people you actually have, how many volunteers do you have. It actually depends how the big event it is. We had European University Games in 2 different cities, so there were more than 130 kilometers away, and we had 2 different volunteer managers. But for every smaller event, usually there is only one volunteer manager and maybe assistant of the volunteer manager. Of course, this depends on how you want to run the whole show, how you feel. If you have a person who can you rely on, then you will be able to have assistants, or someone like you will be able to have 2 volunteer managers. But if you're by yourself, it's also manageable, but you need to plan more things in planning phase. After that, maybe the last part is a rewarding system. So you need to, after volunteers, after they already gave you time, the energy, the smiles, the everything what they have, it is appropriate way to reward them somehow. Usually, what do we do? So we, of course, write a letter of recognition for everyone. We made a volunteer certificate. We organize some kind of public giving of certificates, so that we can clap them and that we can thank them for their time and for their energy. Also, what we are doing, if we have some kind of championship with famous athletes. We usually have a meetup with athletes, so they will be able to talk with them. We are also thinking usually how to make it even more special. So sometimes we organize some kind of a small workshop. For example, this year in January, I was a volunteer manager for the European Handball Championship, and we organized like educational part on teamwork and how to deal with stress. So volunteers were able to join these two workshops during the days off, and I think it is a great thing if you can like make something more for the volunteers. Also, to organize thank you event, it can be somehow like a party. We usually make a party, volunteering party, or it can just be a film night. I remember we had European Championship in beach handball and the combat championship. We had more than 200 volunteers. So these are two different championships, but we are sometimes crazy. So that was definitely the proof of that, because we made European Handball Championship, beach handball, and then one day afterwards the combat championship. Combat championship is in 4 different sports: in taekwondo, judo, kickboxing, and karate. We actually called it a summer of university sport. We had more than 700 athletes in both of them in like 12 different days. At the end, the volunteers were very tired because we had those summer activities. We had also some sports hall activities and so on. And we decided to make a movie night for the volunteers. And we organized that in our volunteering center with a huge white board. We were playing movies. We had some music, some food. At the end, it was like a perfect volunteering party, but without any kind of clubs. We were just by ourselves, and it was definitely one of my best memories from 2019. Again, ancient history, I'm sorry. Just I wanted to say that you need to keep it personal, because we usually celebrate different birthdays during the championships. You always have time for that. Your job as a volunteer manager, and I cannot stress that enough, is that volunteers are feeling happy, that they want to help you, and they really feel, and I know that after a few years of working like this is definitely something that you can incorporate in your own volunteering programs. And it's not so much cost effectively, but you need to just again think outside of the box and make them special. So we have 5 minutes for all the questions. Just to come back to you.
Dear FISU Student Ambassadors, if you have questions, please raise your hand or write in the chat. And I think even for this presentation, it's not easy to put everything into 40 minutes, because it's like so many steps. And while we're waiting for your questions, I hope there will be some, because many of you are having volunteer programs as a part of the action plans. I would just say that what you mentioned at the very beginning about time, how you really understand that time is the most precious thing that they're giving, and you really work on the motivation program. I think it's very important, and we could really feel that, and I think all client groups can feel that when they are at your events, Ivana.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to share, if we don't have, but probably we will have some questions. I wanted to share that last time when I was giving the presentation, Albina was sending me WhatsApp messages like, please, time, because I usually, when I start talking, I cannot stop. So I actually cut it as a few things from this presentation, but feel free to ask. Okay, we have a question. Yeah. How was your experience in Eurobasket 2015? How was your experience in Eurobasket? So in Eurobasket 2015, actually, I always I always make a funny story about that because 2015 was the year. It was a perfect year for the volunteering coordinators, but that was my first experience of having international volunteers in such a large scale event. We have been working for university sports and so on, but this is like real basketball, and you have FIBA, different rules. You need to combine over the marketing rules and so on. So it was very stressful. And I actually entered in this experience 2 months before the event, because they had someone who was working with volunteers, but something happened, so I entered and I helped them even more. And they actually we always make like a small fun about that, because we always say that Eurobasket 2015 was a test event for European University Games 2016. Usually it is on the different level, but definitely Eurobasket 2015 taught me so many different things. Some of the people who were working there, who were volunteers there, they are now working with me. I think that was the perfect stage, the perfect area to even think about more about the about the volunteers, and I really feel that that was like a start of everything. Where do you get all that energy and the motion for the organizing of all those events? Which city is your favorite? Where you? Oh my God! So this is so a tough question, but thank you for that, Boris. I really like these things. I really like working in a sports area. I have been first a volunteer. Now I'm actually a worker. I work for the Croatian Academic Sports Federation for the past 9 years, and volunteers. So my aim is for the people that they can start volunteering and see what is sports interesting, can definitely show them. I really feel that when you meet someone in some kind of championship, you always meet the best of them and the worst of them, because it's always very stressful situation. So for me, my goal is that everyone can have an opportunity to join the volunteering program, and they can definitely like get the best of it, so that they can definitely learn more and maybe even work afterwards. So that is definitely the part where I use all the events. My energy comes from sleep. Which city is your favorite? Oh, where a volunteer coordinator? Oh, you know, we were during the COVID. We also, I'm not sure if you know, if you had a championship during the COVID, but I was a volunteer coordinator during FIBA Olympic qualifying tournament, where I met Francisca. I just get back to that also. So we had a championship under the masks with all the COVID measurements. But that energy from the people who are living in Split, you just need to meet them. That is definitely one of the craziest city to organize some kind of sports events. And every time when I organize something there, it's definitely the best part, because we usually don't have money, we don't have resources, we don't have people, we don't have the weather, we don't have the sports hall, but at the end we have everything. You just need to believe about that. But definitely, if you have a time, and I think that you will have a possibility, because in 2028 we will organize European University Games in Split. I'm feel free to come and to join our volunteering program, because it will be the best. How long do you think it's enough for getting prepared a good volunteer program, like the timing for every stage? Thank you, Alicia, Lara. I think that depends on how big event actually is. So if you have a small event for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days for one sport, I think that 3 or 4 months will be enough. But if you have already a number of people who you would like to organize it, maybe you will be able to do it even in a less period. For me, after so many years, I always like to take at least 1 or 2 months to prepare everything. But now when we have a database of the volunteers, now when people know how I'm working, it's easier. But when I started, I even had the programs which I prepared for even 2 or 3 years before. So actually it depends on how much sports do you have, how many volunteers do you know, how big event is. It's not a unique question, unique answer. Sorry, it's unique question, but not an answer. But if you need any kind of help, I think that Albina will share my email with you. Please feel free to contact me. I will be more than happy to help you to share this energy worldwide. It's not only for the Croatia.
Ivana and Lara, or Alicia from Spain, she's asking because we had a meeting with you on her action plan. She's she's creating a volunteer program for National University Championship in Spain for 2026. So this is the scale of the event. And to answer the question, yes, I think Alicia, of course, you can contact Ivana directly for this because it will be a very practical cooperation. And we will share a checklist from Ivana, which is so handy. It has like, you really like tick on every stage, like even a small one, like certificates prepared, like the venue chosen, something like this. Like you really check every, you tick this checklist, and then you're done with the volunteer program. It's very handy. We will share right after this presentation. So any other questions? And thank you for asking questions and for all your reactions. If not, we will say thank you to Ivana. And before we go to the second part, I would ask Ivana to share a holiday season memory or and a wish to the current student ambassadors that are listening to you.
A memory. Okay, I will share a memory. Oh, this is a tough question. I thought it's going to be about volunteers. Oh, in 2015, I was a volunteer team Poland Combat Championship. This year we will be organizing the event in Albania, and I will also be responsible. How many volunteers do we need to ensure the event? So hi, again, we have been in touch in 2025 in Poland. Definitely, it was one of the great experience. So for the combat, that's very specific because you have 4 different sports. And for us, we have been organizing that event with 200 volunteers when it was organized in Zagreb. In Poland, they have been organizing with 100. So they organized it. It's not a problem. But personally, I always believe that if you have resources that you can include even more volunteers, and again, not to give them some too easy tasks, definitely it will be great if you can include more people. So between 100 and 200, it's definitely okay. And now about the memory for the holidays. So I think it's like from the family. We usually, when I see the tree in the back of Albina, definitely that's the best memory. We usually decorate the tree in the office. We are a small office. We are 6 of us, so it's always a great memory and to talk about the whole year. And again, we are doing that with our own family, and that's always like totally great to get together and think about the new plans of 2026. So for my wishes, I really wish you all the best. I really, first of all, thank you for all the questions. Again, if you need anything, please feel free to contact me. I would like to wish to you and to all your family the great holiday season. I think and I hope that this 2026 will bring us joy and more sports events, and that we will finally get together. And I hope to see you in some other cities and maybe some other events. That's it.
Thank you, Ivana. I really wanted to say that you were also the part of the FISU games, working with your federations, always busy, always on phone, always like traveling from city to city, very like impossible to catch even during Rhine-Ruhr, but you're at the meeting with the alumni, and we could really share with almost 50 alumni the emotions from the FISU games in Rhine-Ruhr. And I would just say that I have a Zagreb heart here because it's always in my heart. It matches perfectly the Christmas tree. Thank you so much, Ivan. Happy holidays, and thank you for being our speaker.
Thank you for inviting me. See you.
And we go to our second part for the season's greeting. And we do not say Christmas celebrations or Christmas greetings because we have FISU student ambassadors from almost 100 countries and different religious cultures and time zones. And to run this part for the season's greeting, I invite here Jacob from Guatemala. And please tell me, what time is it for you now, Jacob?
Hi, Alina. Hi, everyone. Well, right now it's 9 a.m. here in Guatemala. So,
okay,
yeah,
good
early
morning,
morning.
Jacob. Yes, and please take care of the second part of the meeting. And at this stage, we really ask you to be active, to unmute yourself when Jacob says your name, because this is a very unofficial part for the celebrations.
Okay, so hello, everyone. As Albina said, this is the time for you to participate, to meet each other, to talk, to share. And well, as we are close to the closing festivities or the last holidays of the year, we have time to share with each other, and we have prepared some different activities for you to share with each other. So let's start with the first one, and I'm gonna give you 1 minute to take one object that you have that reminds you something special from the holidays of the end of the year. So move on and go for some object.
And while we're waiting for the people, Jacob, please show your object and what you remember. What's your object?
Okay, of course. The object I have is this pillowcase. It's a Christmas pillowcase, and this was from my grandma. So I always remember her because she was the one that celebrated Christmas and the holidays like in the higher level, and she was always making the whole family coming together, and having this always reminding her, and it's a special object that I have for Christmas and these holidays. So yes, that's my object. And what about you guys? Have you, some of you have already taken their object? No one?
I don't know if you can hear me now.
Oh, yes, please.
Okay. I don't know. Okay, 1 second. The camera? No. Okay. This is like in Spain, we do like an advent calendar, like the 24 days before Christmas. It's like the 1st of December, you open, for example, one day and you get like something that is sweet with chocolate or something like that. And it's like really typical here in Spain that every December someone gives you a gift like this, and everyone like opens a present every day.
Oh, thank you very much, Lucia. Okay, that's great to share with people, like giving some gifts and that kind of thing. It's really cool. Is there someone else who wants to share with us?
Hi, dears.
Yes, I mean,
Hi, I want to share this cake. It's specialized for Christmas. In our country, we have this cake just in Christmas time, and in all other times of the year, we don't have it. Just because of special candles it has. Just we have it for Christmas time.
oh, that's great. Maybe one day I can go there and try that that it seems delicious. So maybe we can share one day. Okay. Okay. So do we have someone else who wants to share?
And Noor from Algeria, she's making candles. She wrote in chat. I think that some of you can unmute yourself and some of you can't. So just, if not, write in chat, okay? And let's ask Carolina. It's always good to ask Carolina if you have some special objects or traditions.
Yes. I don't know if you can see. Oh no, you cannot. Now, so I have this Christmas sweater with like big snowflake at the back. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, a bit. Yeah. And it's like special for me because I only wear it like in this time of the year, and my mom made it when she was my age, more or less. So it also has like sentimental value for me.
Okay. Oh, thank you for sharing that. That's nice and lovely. Since you were 8. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Well, right now we can go to the next activity. So this is about sharing some traditions that we can have. So we have many different countries, cultures, people from all around the world, and maybe we have some traditions that we only do in our country, in our region, or maybe as personal in our family, we do some things that we might want to share. So as an example, I will share with you that in my country, a tradition, a religious tradition, is to make the Christmas tree, that under the Christmas tree, people used to make a recreation of Jesus' birth. So we call it nacimiento. And to show you a little photograph, it looks like this one. So it's a traditional thing that you will find in many houses here in my country. So if you people want to share, you can do it.
I'm not sure if Osanda is here. Osanda, if you can hear us, please share your traditions. As it's a very different part of the world. Not sure if you're here. Or Tia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
So yeah. I'm not a Christian, so I'm a Buddhist. But in our country, there are like a lot of decorations and things are happening. So yeah, as a Christmas tradition, I used to live. When I was small, I used to live with a family. The neighbors were Christians, so we had like those cakes and then went to church with them sometimes, and yeah, I have like no idea what like the traditions were, but I was small and yeah.
Okay, thank you for sharing, Osanda. Um, do do you have another? Well, is there someone else who wants to share some activity or some food or I don't know, something that you used to do? Okay, Samin, go on.
In our country, just one thing that's specialized for Christmas. That's our coffees, our coffee shops, and they use special glasses just for Christmas, and it has special pictures on it. Then special cups for coffees, for teas, and they decorate their store for Christmas. It's not normalized to decorate Christmas tree, but our coffee shops and some stores decorate their stores front like by candles, by special things to happy Christmas.
Okay. Um, okay, so let me check. Okay, so I don't know, Carolina, do you have some tradition that you want to
I
share?
want to share my
Oh,
Yes, I want to share
Yeah,
mine.
or
okay, okay, go on, please.
Yes, I am Burkan from the Gambia. Normally, I'm not a Christian, but every Christmas we do have this big gathering at our capital where every ethnic will come all over and then to display their cultural masquerades. Or we call it hunting gathering. So it's usually very interesting because you have people from all over to come and embrace that day. So it's always amazing. So anytime that this moment is approaching, every Gambian have this mind that we have to gather advantage. So thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Bukar, no, Buakar, I'm sorry. Okay, thank you very much for to share with us. Um, okay, so well, now I'm seeing the chat. So we have many different messages here from, for example, um, Terence says that in Kenya, specifically in Western Kenya, Christmas time have bullfighting and cook fighting in your village. So, oh, that's amazing. Um, bullfighting. It seems like really impressive. Okay. Then Time says in Belgium we celebrate the Worms Wormsteak Week and with Log's charity event with concerts by some of the country's most popular artists. It brings a lot of people together. So, oh, that's really nice to read and to know. So, thank you very much for sharing. Thomas says that in Spain, the New Year's Eve, you eat 12 grapes at midnight and one per clock. So it is broadcasted from different cities in Spain. Okay. Oh, that's really interesting. I have seen that in some movies, so it's really nice. Okay. So we have to move on to the next activities. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. And now we are going to activity that Samin has prepared. So, please, Samin, can you help us with that?
Okay. Can we start it?
Yes, begin.
We have two activities. One of them is about traditional foods or drinks that we have in our country, in different countries, and holidays. I want to ask you, you can write it on the chat, and if you want, you can raise your hand and join us. What traditional food or drink you have on holidays, for Christmas holidays? For example, in our country, we have fish with rice. It's traditional food in our country for holidays. I want to know about yours. Das ist weird. Sure, quite district. Yes, in Iran, yes, in traditional cities like Isfahan, Shiraz, they decorate the streets.
If you can, please, you can open your camera and show and share with us.
Okay. In Spain, they usually eat a dessert that is called turrón. I hope I could read it correctly. And you can eat it from different tastes like chocolate, and it's always after the Christmas meals or dinner. That's great. In Zambia, fireworks the whole night. Okay. What is your country, Kalina? During the holidays. People eat crazy a lot of mayonnaise stuff. That's interesting. I didn't know. Crazy a lot of mayonnaise salad. Blood sausage with potatoes.
Like, it's basically mayonnaise mixed with tomatoes and other veggies. And it's like also a big meme in my country that like people fill their bathtub of it during the Christmas and they eat it like, yeah. It's the main thing. It's the main big event of this festivity in my country. Yeah.
That's great. We see different foods and drinks in chat. They wrote it. And it's interesting that we have so many people that they eat special desserts. Interesting. Can you explain it? What is jollof rice? Who wrote it? Bubakar. Can you explain it? What is it? Jollof rice. I don't know. If you can, please turn on your microphone and explain what is it. With these foods, I agree with you, Tani. I'm hungry too. Yeah. Special drink from milk. That's interesting. From Kenya.
So
All of you,
if I can tell you if you can hear me.
yes.
Okay, so well in Slovakia before we have the main course or the main dish, we have this very thin, usually vanilla wafers with honey. It's like you put a wafer, then you put honey on it, and then you put another wafer on it, and it's very crunchy and it's sweet. And we also have garlic. I don't know why is this tradition, but we have garlic with these wafers. And then we have the main dish, which is the sauerkraut soup with some meat, sausages, and sour cream. Not many people like it, but some people put sour cream on top. And then yes, and how Carolina already said or mentioned, we have the mayonnaise salad with like potatoes, peas, carrots, and it's all mixed, and with fried fish. And then at the end, like we have the gingerbreads or whatever kinds of cinnamon cakes. And yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. That's great. Thank you so much. And if it's okay, we can go to the next activity. It's about Christmas trees. I want to ask you, please, if you want, you can say about it. And if you can't speak, you can write on the chat that special memory about Christmas tree. For example, for myself, I want to say myself, then I will ask you. For myself, it was about first of my trip that I traveled to Turkey. Then I went there. It was near to Christmas. I went there alone for coaching class. Then I took a photo with Christmas tree, and it was really enjoyable for me because it was my first time that I traveled alone, and it was about a long time ago. I went there in my birthday, and it was really good. That it was my birthday, Christmas, and my first trip. I've traveled alone. I have that photo until now. If you have any good memory like that, you can share with us.
Virginie, do you have any Swiss tradition to share? If you're here, yeah. Hey, Samia?
Yes.
Oh, I thought someone was joining. You can share the memory, or you can share, because we are now finalizing the like closing the meeting. Maybe you can share the wishes or the best memory of 2025. Let me just say that for me, it was the meeting of the FISU Student Ambassadors in Rhine-Ruhr related to this program. because there were really, really many ambassadors there. And I really hope that next year it will also be a chance if you become the part of the FISU World Forum, if you travel there with your federations. And I think you can see the chat.
Yes. The last time I went home during Christmas in 2023, we made the Christmas tree from scratch as a family. That's great. Living with family, making it with family, it's really enjoyable. Nushima is traditional. Yeah. I want to say something about Miriam. Miriam, they had this food, Nushima, and always she's talk about this special food, and always she said it's tradition, it's really delicious. I hope one time she could cook it for us. Always she talk about it.
Thank God from Nigeria raised the hand.
So my experience, thanks so much, Abina. My experience for 2025, the most memorable moment for me was my re-election as the director of sport of my university, and also being appointed as my national ambassador, FISU ambassador for Nigeria, and the experience during the 27th NOGA Games in the University of Jos. So it's very memorable, having to meet new people and having a leadership summit with different directors from different universities, sharing ideas and meeting new friends. And you asked about jollof rice. Jollof rice is originated from Senegal. It's made from rice, and it's an African food. There's always a fight between Nigeria and Ghana who makes the best jollof rice, but for sure, Nigeria always wins. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sanka, for sharing.
Thank you so much for sharing this good information.
So, as we are coming to the closing of the session, I want to share to all of you for sharing. Thank you for your participation in the chat. At the beginning, I couldn't see the messages, so that's why I wasn't. But thank you so much. We have a very good family. We have a very good relationship, and we have to well, thank you for seize these opportunities to share and make this family bigger and closer. So thank you very much, and thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you, Jacob. Thank you, Samin, for bringing these activities. And I also thank Virginie for covering all the technical parts behind the meeting. Thank you so much. And we always end this December session on volunteer management with holiday and seasons wishes. Before it's the weeks of the celebrations, we really hope that you will have a great holiday season. I will still share the midterm one form today, and I'm still having 23 face-to-face interviews this week with many of you and next week as well. But to each of you, we are wishing a very good holiday season and all the peace and kindness and joy to your dearest ones. Thank you so much. And we are ending this event. See you in January. Goodbye.
Thank you, Albina. Thank you. Bye.